Welcome to the Ask Pastor Sunday show and our Eastern Nigeria special. Thank you everyone for joining us today. You know, today is a special day because some of you may know of the political situation in Eastern Nigeria, and Dr. Sunday has been writing a lot about it on his blog, SundayAdelajablog.com, where you will see several articles on his thoughts on the BIAFRA situation. So we've received many questions about that and want to know what Dr. Sunday's take is on this situation, including the issues of Nnamdi Kanu and his house, as well as the response of the Nigerian military. So join us today as we examine the situation in Eastern Nigeria together. Hello, Dr. Sunday, and welcome.
Yes, blessings.
Thank you for discussing this topic with us today. Many people want to know what it is that is happening and what is your situation on the happenings in
my
Eastern
situation?
Nigeria. Your opinion,
okay,
of the situation in Eastern Nigeria. So maybe we should start with a video, or do you want to give us?
Yeah, I will give some comments. Well, talking about the situation in eastern part of Nigeria, I would like to say that Nigeria situation in Nigeria in general is very, 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 very bad. Very, very. I think I have some books here about Nigeria, how to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. And things. I am passionate about Nigeria, and I believe in Nigeria's greatness. I believe in Nigeria's future. I believe in Nigeria's destiny as a nation that is supposed to have impact on the world and that is going to change the world. I believe that Nigeria is going to become one of the greatest countries in the world sooner or later. Sooner or later, Nigeria is going to become one of the greatest countries in the world. And so it is not surprising, therefore, to see the kind of difficulties that Nigeria is going through right now. If Nigeria has such a great destiny, as most people believe Nigeria does, it can only be natural to see that there will be opposition, there will be resistance, and there will be attacks on the destiny of the country. So even Nigerians themselves might be the cause of this attack without even knowing it. Nigerians themselves might be the cause of the whole attack. So it is the destiny of the country that is attracting the attacks. And when anybody, even a child, is having a great destiny, it is, understandable that that child will have a lot of crisis as well, a lot of attacks. So that's how I see Nigeria, that Nigeria is undergoing a lot of problems and challenges because of the destiny that is ahead of Nigeria. I'm passionate about Nigeria, like I said, and I believe that our diversity is a blessing. So whatsoever is happening with all the different groups calling for restructuring or calling for even outright breakdown of the country, I think it's part of the teeth-growing challenges that any nation will go through. Like, for example, if you have a small baby, that every child will go through tooth-breaking challenges, tooth-breaking period. Yeah. So I think this is part of our tooth-breaking period when our teeth is being growing, but it comes with pain and with a lot of unpleasant experiences. Yeah. I will talk more about that, but maybe you want to say something.
Yeah, well, it's a very challenging situation, definitely, as Dr. Sunday has just said. Many people have questions. Some, are for the situation. Some are against it. Some people, are protesting. Some people are sad. There are many emotions that people are expressing about this situation, and we obviously want to understand, what is the best way to handle it? How is the best way to respond to the Nigerian situation right now? Be it if you're someone who lives in Nigeria or someone in the diaspora, someone who wants to go home but who doesn't know if they should or what the situation they will be facing, especially if your home is in eastern Nigeria if you're Nigerian. So this is definitely an interesting situation, and also a very interesting perspective of Dr. Sunday to describe this as a tooth-growing period, because, you know, it is not necessarily a pleasant one. And but if you compare it to a tooth-growing period, obviously you can look forward to something greater, something positive that is going to come ahead, or that's going to be coming beyond the tooth-growing period. So it is a very questionable but also interesting and situation that we all look forward to how it's going to develop. So
I want to say that the challenges that Nigeria has been having with our unity has been ongoing for some time now. It's not just a problem with the eastern part of Nigeria. In the beginning of Nigeria's independence, the greatest problem of unity was coming from the western part of Nigeria. Yes. The first national crisis that Nigeria had was in connection with the western part of Nigeria. After the independence, the West, it's not that they wanted to go out of the country, but there was a power tussle within the western people themselves. So the leader of the western region that time was Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He's very respected. He's almost like a cult of personality. So anything he says is taken very seriously. So what happened was that Obafemi Awolowo decided to go and run for the position of Prime Minister in the federal government, which is in this capital, to the national government. And he was thinking that he was going to win and become the national leader, because this was the first national collective government in Nigeria. So he wanted to rule over the whole of Nigeria. So, but he was the Prime Minister or Premier of Western Nigeria before the independence. So 4 years before that. And he was still there. So he relinquished his power, resigned as the Premier of Western Nigeria to contest in the national election. And then his vice, because his vice was the opposition leader in the national. So he brought him back. He said he should come back to become the Premier in his place. So when that one became the Premier, and he went to contest the federal election, he lost. Obafemi Awolowo lost the election in the national level. So when he lost the election over there, and this guy was now the Premier in the central, I think he was still, even though he lost over there, and he's nobody now, and he's just opposition leader in the central. But over here, this guy has become the big guy, but he is the leader of the party. So he wanted to still keep on managing stuff and be talking and ruling in Western. And then the guy here, who they used to call him Akitola. Akitola was becoming a powerful man himself. So Akitola, but the main problem they have was that Akitola said, Akitola went by himself because he's now the governor, the Premier of the Western Nigeria. So when they lost the election, the federal election, Akitola went and negotiated as the Premier of Western Region with the other party, with the Northern Party, that we are going to come into a coalition. When we lose, we'll come and form the government together. So that our leader, Awolowo, will become the leader, will become the Prime Minister. But Awolowo said, no, I don't want to negotiate, because this was before the election, if they lose, that is. So Awolowo said, no, we are going to win. If we don't win, we are not going to collaborate with the other people. So, but he didn't know that behind his back, because he's nobody. He's just the head of the party, but this guy has political position. So Akitola had gone to negotiate with Ahmadu Bello, and that West is going to be in coalition with them. And so when they lost the election, Awolowo was nowhere, and then the Northerners said, okay, come, let's form the government. And then Awolowo said no. He said, no, why? No, we don't have an agreement like that. I said, no, your Prime Minister has an agreement with us. That made Awolowo very mad. And Awolowo wanted to remove him. And say, okay, you cannot do this. But he couldn't remove him because he said, this is an election. Even though you put me there, and you are my leader, but I will not go. I was elected anyway, just like you. I mean, so the supporters of Awolowo and the supporters of Akintola, they started a war. And it was almost breaking the country down. And this very historical. So there was like a country. In fact, it was a war. But in civil war within western part of Nigeria, it was breaking Nigeria down. So the federal government had to come in. So the federal government eventually went into partnership with another party, which is the Eastern Party, party from the East mainly, Nnamdi Azikiwe. So then Nnamdi Azikiwe became the prime minister because of that. So, but there was a curfew. So it was much more serious than what happened in the West now, in the East now. Because what happened in the East now was just something that was happening in one particular town and maybe in just one state. But in the case of Western Nigeria, it was the whole of Western Nigeria that was affected. And it was riot everywhere and military and people killing each other. So they had to put a curfew for the whole of Western Nigeria. But here, there was even no curfew declared in Eastern Nigeria this time. And it was just for a week. The whole thing lasted for a week or less. But in the case of our Western Nigeria, it lasted for months. And then it even resulted in something worse. Because Awolowo himself was put in jail. And he was found guilty. That even though you are the head of the party, you cannot try to, this man now, by law, is the prime minister. You cannot try to remove him, even though you are his leader and you put him there. But by the law, by the paper, he is now the one in power. So they charge him of treason. And they put him and all the supporters in jail for 6 years or so. And this prime minister was there. And it was, even though morally, maybe he was at fault, but legally, they found Awolowo guilty. And so, but it was a curfew in Western Nigeria. What I'm saying is that this is not about ethnicity. People who don't know history could be saying that, oh, the Igbos are not loved. And this is just because they are the Igbos, that's why they were being attacked, or that's why this happened. But really, a worse thing that happened in the West. In this particular situation with the East, maybe how many people died now? Maybe a few people, maybe less than 10 people. But there in the West that time, there were hundreds of people that died. Now, later on, the second crisis in Nigeria, after that one settled down, the crisis in the West, was in the East, which was now the BIAFRA war. And that is another long story. But that, of course, that was much more devastating. Over 1 million people died and everything. It was a full-fledged war, civil war in Nigeria. So people know about that. But this kind of crisis that is now happened, that just happened right now with Nnamdi Kanu, happened also in the West. Again, but in the 90s. You know, there was a candidate, a very popular business mogul from Nigeria, but he happens to be from the western part of Nigeria. And he contested also election for the federal Nigeria election to become the president of Nigeria. So this was moving from military to civilian government. And this business mogul was called Abiola, or the MKO Abiola, Chief MKO Abiola. So this Chief MKO Abiola, actually everybody knew that he won the election. He won the election everywhere in Nigeria. He won the election in the West, in the East, in the South, in the North even. He won the election even in the city, in the town of the opposition. He won the election everywhere. I mean, it was like 90% for him, 90-something% for him. So, but the military guys who are mainly from the northern part of Nigeria, they refused to give the power to him. They didn't hand over the power to somebody who won 90% of the election. So the Yorubas, this was because he's from the West. And so these Western Yoruba people started going to do demonstration in Lagos and rioting. So this in the 90s, like 92, 93, 94, a lot of rioting like this was happening in the West. And the military shut them down very hard, much more harder than now. Now it only affected Nnamdi Kanu and his supporters in that particular state. But that time, it was all over the western part of Nigeria. They shut them down very bad. And a lot of people also lost their lives. So what I'm saying is that it's a fight for the unity of the country. And the military is not just the Northerners. And military is not just some part of the country. Military, everybody is in there. And that is part of the constitutional duty of the military to keep the country united together. Now, there might be other details or other questions that I might need to address concerning the issues of this particular latest issue. I personally, and I'm sure that many friends of mine who are from the eastern part of Nigeria, or maybe especially people who believe in BIAFRA, because it's a mistake to think that everybody from the eastern part of Nigeria believe in the BIAFRA, that they want to do BIAFRA. Not every Easterner, not every Igbo person wants to do BIAFRA. So the only people that want to do this BIAFRA, who are calling for this BIAFRA, are mainly these iPod people, the people who follow Nnamdi Kanu. Other people want to remain in Nigeria, but it's Nnamdi Kanu mainly and his people who want to become. So I know right now that if there are people from Nnamdi Kanu, BIAFRA, iPod, who are watching this, many of them might want to be writing negative comments. And I want to tell you, if you write any negative comment, you are off. You are going to be banned very harshly, and banned very, 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 very concretely. You will never be able to have access to any of my materials again. So you are gone. so please don't insult anybody here. don't try to be abusive. If you want to write with respect. Write with honor. Write your opinion. It might be different from my own opinion. I will not ban you in that sense. But if you are going to be insultive, because a lot of people have tried to be insultive and people are abusive, if you are going to be abusive on my own platform, you are gone. You are a goner. So don't do that, please. Now concerning this particular incident that we just had in the eastern part of Nigeria, I want to first of all say that, you know what, our people, not just Eastern Nigerians, but our people in general, all Nigerians, they are experiencing a lot of pain right now. A lot of pain due to the economy of the country. A lot of sorrow, a lot of disappointment and disillusionment because of the political elite have failed us. I personally believe that all of us only have one enemy, the political elite that is not leading the country anywhere. That is the main enemy we have. But, the Bible says we don't fight against flesh and blood. So I will also not even call them enemies. I think they are just ignorant people. They just don't know what to do. I think it's dangerous to begin to call people, a particular set of people, our enemy. So if we are going to be saying Northerners are our enemies, that is a dangerous thing. Then you are going to be creating conflict and strife. So even if we are going to say the political elite are our enemies, I know they have failed us, yes. But if we are going to be seeing them as enemy, then it's creating another situation for crisis and for revolution, because you are going to be hating them and soon somebody is going to be attacking them. So we don't want that kind of personalization of problems. So the way I will approach this is to say, yes, the political elite have failed us and they have been our biggest problem. But we shouldn't just see them as our problem. Personally, if you look at my book, this particular book that I wrote, Nigeria and the Leadership Question, I addressed the question there that our biggest problem really is not even the elite and it's not the leadership alone. Our biggest problem is, our biggest problem is the value system that we have. We all of us, Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, all of us have very, they have corrupted our value systems. We have challenged with our value systems. And I think that is our problem. We have problem with our values, and that problem has to be addressed. And it is out of that problem that all other problems are coming from. Corruption is coming from there. The failure of the political elite is coming from there. And the restructuring or the call for division of the country is coming from there. It is just because, we have failed in our values and we have lost our values. We are a nation without values. And a nation without values is a nation without destiny, without a future.
And that's very interesting that you say that, Dr. Sunday, because the question some people may have is, who's responsible for that? Who's responsible to teach us the right values? Are we, as parents, the ones, is the political elite, the people who are supposed to teach us those values? Or you know, how are we supposed to get to that knowledge of the values that we need to have a stable country?
Beautiful, good question. Now, that problem is a problem of leadership. Value system is supposed to emanate from leaders, but not just political leaders. Value system is supposed to emanate from leaders. First of all, the first leadership you've come across in your life is your family leadership. So the values come from families. So our parents, as our leaders, are responsible for, you know, bringing up children with the right values. And we have to face it that we as parents have failed in that sense. Then the second level of leadership we all come across is the school system. And they are supposed to also use the school system to bring the right value system out and to bring us up in the right values. But even that, our school system also have failed in inculcating the right value system in us. So that's second failure. Then the government of the leadership of the political leadership of the country is supposed to also be able to give us values and be able to, you know, propagate and inculcate the right values in us. But we have also failed in that sense as well. So, and then the media is another area where, from another place where people get their values from. And, you know, the media and the entertainment, the Nollywood industry, the film industry in Nigeria have totally failed us also. So it's all generic failure. It's a general failure of all of us.
Okay. So looking at the situation right now, we have prepared some videos here for everyone to look and see what it is that we are talking about and what is being discussed also in the nation about Nigeria's situation, and keeping in mind what we have just discussed about values and the history of such uproars in Nigeria. I think it will be good to look at the videos and maybe...
Yes, what I would like to say is that my own position about this latest iPod agitation is that because of the gullibility of our people and because of the pain that our people are going through, I feel that people like iPod just are taking advantage of the pain and of the obvious problems that Igbo people are having in Nigeria. And not just the problem that the Igbo people are having, but that all Nigerians are having. Poverty, a lack of opportunities, you know, lack of future for people. So all those things are what some people try to jump on the bandwagon to exploit for their own good. And some people have said that this Nnamdi Kanu is being sponsored by some political opposition of this present government. I don't know of that. I don't have factors of that. But what I do know is that even Nnamdi Kanu himself is the guy. You know, just as recently as 2014. Was it? No, 2007 or so. As recently as 2007, 2014. We have a video somewhere there. As recently as 2014, but I'm going to find that video. When was 2014? Yeah, 2014. As recently as 2014, he was still campaigning for one Nigeria. We have a video of this guy, who is the head of the iPod, demonstrating in the streets of London, calling for change in one Nigeria. He was supporting, I think, what do they call it? You have it? Julia said, okay. So we could show that video that he was actually for one Nigeria just as recently as 3 years ago. So which means that something changed. So something changed. So he originally is not against one Nigeria, and he's not really a campaigner for BIAFRA. Something either it's true that some people, you know, are using him, or it is just the fact that you know, he got disillusioned in Nigeria as well. Maybe he also got disappointed that things are not happening. So that's why, you know, people. So iPod. Okay, iPod.
Yes,
I said iPod.
Yeah.
You have the video?
Yes, I think it was just sent to
Yeah, can you just try to use that first? Because while we are going to show that video, I want to say that, but still, I believe in the great destiny of Nigeria. And I want to talk about the latest books that I wrote in that sense. how the Nigerian economy can overtake the American economy. You know, it's like a fantasy, but this is how much I believe in the greatness of Nigeria, that Nigeria economy can actually overtake the American economy. The other book I have here about that, about my faith in the greatness of Nigeria, is How to Make Nigeria the Greatest Country in the World. You see, how to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. So I believe that Nigeria actually could become the greatest country in the world, and it, you know, and we can actually overcome American economy. So if you see this video, can you play the video? You will see that even Victor, I mean, what's it called? Even Nnamdi Kanu, it's not really, was just for Nigeria. This was just 2014. It's very recent, 3 years ago. Can you put it on?
My name is and this is why I'm here today, is to protest the killing of innocent women and children and men all over Nigeria, especially in the north part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the family apart permanently. It is not something that we follow. It is not something that we like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the African government, to the High Commissioner, that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disposition of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to respect. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done, and the consequences of
Stop. So he is saying the government has to do something so that we'll have one Nigeria, so that there will be no, the situation in Somalia will not happen in Nigeria. So he was once an advocate for one Nigeria. That's why I believe that he's an opportunist. Either someone is using him, or he himself decided to take an advantage of what has happened. And one problem with Nigeria, with the eastern part of Nigeria, and that what I think that the Igbo people need to pay attention to, is that they have to be watchful about the leader they follow. Because this, you know, in the BIAFRA war, the guy who led to the war, he ran away. People were dying. 1 million of his people died. And he took off. He ran away. He escaped for his life. So which means, and normally a real leader would do like what Jesus did. He died so that we would live. That's what real leaders do. But like in the western part of Nigeria, you know, so anyway, but that's just the way it is. But what happens is that he ran away. And most of the leaders that put people to death, I mean, that lead, they start agitation, their children are safe, his own children are safe, that Ojuku's children were safe, all of his family were safe, but only ordinary people are being killed. And this time also, he ran away. This guy disappeared now. Some people said, no, maybe they took him off, or it just disappeared. So, and he is not being the one that is being killed. He was not killed, but other ordinary people are being killed. So that's what I think that the Igbo people need to pay attention to. Now, there is an adage in Igbo as well that says that he who runs away from a battle will, something like that, will have another opportunity to fight again. He will live to fight another day. But, you know, the other guy didn't come back to fight. He died. And when he came back, he was fighting for one Nigeria, that is Ojuku. And then, you know, this guy, but other people who have died. 1 million people have died. You know, so, you know, if, you know, we want to see the kind of leaders we want to follow. It's not that adage. I don't subscribe to that adage when it comes to leaders. But when it comes to leaders, I think they should be like Jesus. You know, who will rather give their lives for their followers rather than the followers giving their life for them. So I think that is one thing. And that, for me, shows an opportunist leader. It shows that these people who are, you know, putting other people in danger of their lives, that they themselves, they don't want to die. They love life. But other people's children are dying. And I think that's one thing we have to consider. So, but let's see what led to this particular crisis in eastern Nigeria. I will say that the Nigerian government and the Nigerian army was strong-handed. I will say that it is wrong for any government or for whatsoever reason to be killing the citizens. And so, you know, the fact that they were killing people, or they, you know, But on the hindsight, though, I think they actually acted on time and acted rightly, because if they had left it a little bit longer till the election time, the kind of death and casualties we would have seen would have been much more than what we saw. So I'm seeing the wisdom in the action of the Nigerian army by going to, you know, to what do you call that? To preempt the situation. You know, we lost maybe 10 people or less, but if it had been later, let's say 2 months later, things would have been much more worse. So I think we should credit also the Nigerian army. Why we are condemning the fact that they could have, you know, handled the situation without allowing anybody to die. So we condemn the death, and we condemn any kind of malhandling of human being, brutality to human being that leads to people's death. We definitely condemn that. But we also have to commend their wisdom and their boldness to take the right decision to make sure that peace reigns in the eastern part of Nigeria. Yeah, but let's see what led to this thing. Because what I say is that people are saying, oh, people die, people die. I think that it is not just the Nigerian army that needs to take responsibility for the death of the people. I think that Nnamdi Kanu personally should take responsibility for the death of the people. It's just like me here in Ukraine. There was a time that I was leading my people, the people from the church, against the government to demonstrate. But I was always thinking every day that while we are demonstrating, if anything happens and anybody dies, I will have to take responsibility. I cannot just say the government is to blame, but I brought the people out. I instigated the people to come out. So even though the government will come out with military force against us, they killed the people, but if I didn't bring the people out, they wouldn't have done that. Yeah. So the same thing, I think it is wrong for people from all over Nigeria, even all over the world, condemning just the Nigerian government. Somebody instigated that. There are other Igbo pro-Biafra groups. One of them is Masob, I think. Yeah, so this Masob, they were not killing their own members. Why? Because they were not so provocative. They didn't provoke. They didn't go to the length that Nnamdi Kanu had gone to. So it is Nnamdi Kanu personally. So if it is just against Igbo people, Nigerian government just want to kill Igbo people, they would have been killing not just Nnamdi Kanu, they would have just gone there to kill people. But they were not killing other people, other groups that were also campaigning for Biafra. But they were only, they killed only the followers of this particular group because this guy had over-provoked everybody. And he didn't just provoke the military or the government, he provoked me too as a Nigerian. He provoked every Nigerian with his utterances. So, and another thing that I want to tell the Igbo and Nigerians to pay attention to is that when this guy was talking all the rubbish he was talking, when he was provoking, it was clear that he was going to lead to violence. And none of those people who are condemning now, who are crying foul now, were talking that time. They were not talking. But I can say I am one of the few people that raised my voice, and I said, and I predicted it, that this is exactly what was going to lead to. That if the elite of the Igbos don't condemn this guy now, if they don't stop him now, it will lead to a situation whereby even ordinary Nigerians will be killing every other Igbo people they see all over. Because they will be saying, you are calling us zoo, you are calling us monkey and things like that. Okay, let me treat you how monkeys and donkeys and lions treat the people. So, because he's insulting all Nigerians, he's insulting other parts of Nigeria. And these are other parts of Nigeria where your people are dwelling as their neighbors. They have accepted your people as their neighbors.
It goes back to the value system.
Sorry?
It goes back to the value system.
It's about value system, you say. Yeah. It's all as a result of lack of value systems. But, maybe we could see what the guy is saying here.
From the mechanism towards actualizing your dream. That's my dream. Thank you very much. The mission of Radio Biafra is a very simple one, to get Biafra by every means necessary and possible. By every means, including war, including violence. Dear Lord in heaven.
You see what he's saying? He is calling for violence. Now, we have a situation in Catalonia recently, in Spain. They didn't call for violence, they didn't call for war. He's mentioning war, including war. All means necessary, including war. That he is going to get the independence for Biafra through war. That is enough by itself in any country in the world for him to be incarcerated. That is treason already. He's instigating people for treason. and for war. So, and you know, in Catalonia, what we just have happened, I mean, they brutalize people almost more than Nigeria police brutalizes people. But besides that, but they just went there to vote. They just voted in Catalonia now, but it's not by war. But, you know, and if it is happening, if that kind of brutality happens in Nigeria, they will say, oh, wow, Nigerian government. But it is everywhere. Look at the English government. The English government, too, see the way they treated Northern Ireland. Is it Northern Ireland? Yeah. Northern Ireland. I mean, for 40 years, 50 years now, Northern Ireland freedom fighters have been trying, but because they are using violence, military government and military, British military has been classing them down for years. And, you know, and any country you go to, anywhere anybody wants to use violence to bring about a change, they are a goner. Even like Catalonia, where they are not even trying to use violence, they still call them down. Because it is not easy to get independence. The way to get independence from any country is strategic and political. When you want to use violence, you get violence. So by saying he wants to go to war, he call him for instigating war and violence, he killed himself. And he's killing not just himself, but his people. So people, that's why I expected Igbo people who are elite and who are educated to come out and say, we are not subscribing to this. This guy is on his own. Because that way, at least you save yourself and your people. And then tell your people, don't follow this guy who is going to kill you, he's leading you into violence. So, okay, I think that's enough. Let's see another one. And I want to say, I must say, let's go. No, there was another guy, an Igbo guy, that actually came out to speak, about this. That actually warned the people that this guy. So they were condemning. If you see the comment that is written against him, everybody from IPOB came to condemn this guy. But this guy, at least, is gone into record that at least he spoke the truth. He warned the people that this guy is leading everybody to violence and is going to lead people to death. But not too many people came out like that. Can we see what to say?
Okay, let's go. This message is for Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, the head of IPOB. This is particularly, I think, the parent organization that oversees the actualization for the Republic of Biafra. And it's a secessionist movement, let's make that clear, because that will help us to do the analysis that we're about to do. I hope this message gets to Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, and I hope this message gets to most of the people who are agitating for Biafra, that we are right now going into a very crucial moment in the agitation for this republic. And this crucial moment is that there are two sides to it. It's either that Biafra is going to happen or Biafra is not going to happen. Depending upon which side of the analysis you're on, it's crucial now at this point, and it looks more like it may not happen if people don't face reality. So let us face reality on the ground. Let's keep aside tribalistic emotions and face the reality on the ground. I'm going to start from the middle of the story. Mr. Nnamdi Kanu was interviewed. And please, before I go into this, let me make one point clear, because there are people who are very emotionally charged. I have nothing against the actualization of Biafra. I have nothing against it. But I'd like people to know the truth. The truth. Now, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu had an interview. In that interview, he stated clearly that he wants Biafra. The lady asked him, is it going to be through secession? And he made it clear that he wants a confederacy kind of a thing, confederation. English, big English is nice to speak. But I do want to point out that the idea of the confederation is over. The bill that could have led to the confederations being created was defeated in the Senate. Now, it doesn't matter that Nigeria is so backwards and so primitive that we don't know those who voted for the bill and those who voted against. The media will not put it down. But I can bet Mr. Nnamdi Kanu that a lot of his counterparts in the Senate, his own Igbo brothers and sisters who are in the Senate, may have voted against the bill. They may have voted against the bill. So what does this mean? It means that the idea of the confederation that you're trying to create is over. What's the next move? Well, you have the next move, which you are stating very clearly, that elections will not hold in the Igbo states. I want you to know that that is a direct confrontation with the federal government of Nigeria. With the defeat of this bill, elections will hold whether you like it or not. Now, people, this is where I want you to advise your people and tell them, because there are too many mixed signals. People are saying, they say we shall boycott elections. Others are saying there will be no elections. Stand clear. Stand clear. Do not be comfortable wearing that chieftaincy and holding that fan and doing whatever you do in confusion. Tell the people clearly, are they to boycott the elections or are they going to disrupt the elections? If they disrupt the elections, it will be the beginning of armed conflict in Nigeria. I can promise you that. Tell the people the truth, that they will not disrupt the elections and things will just remain calm.
You see, this one honest guy, and he's not the only one that came out. Many people came out like that. But the voices of silence was majority. Majority of the Igbo brothers and sisters were just silent. And many of them were afraid of the backlash from the IPOP people. But people like this, even though he had a lot of backlash, but at least he's gone into record book that he won his people. So now, people who didn't speak, they don't have the moral right now to be condemning the Nigerian government. But after that other video that we saw, when he said he's going to war to get the Nigerian government didn't do anything. So we should commend also the patience of the Nigerian government. Let's see other videos. You will see that there are other videos where Nnamdi Kanu provoked the federal government of an independent state, gave more provocation, not another one. More provocation, did worse things. Another one. That was the one with the military. Yeah, this one. Let's show this one. He went and formed a military group, an armed group, and call it his defense corps. You cannot do that without a license. Even if you're a security group, you want to form a security firm, you need a license. You need approval. To carry arms, you need approval in any country. Even in America where it is legal to carry arms, you still need license for those arms to carry. But to form a military group just by yourself, you are not in a banana republic. You know, but let's see what he's doing. It looks funny, but as funny as this looks, but the problem is that he's putting his people to danger. You cannot do this in any country and not expect the state to respond. The military will respond to clap you down. And then you escaped, who will be held responsible? Who will die? Your people are the one who will die. So you are putting your people in danger. And then, you know, they don't deny that they formed this military group to fight Nigeria. There are other interviews that we have here where he is saying that. And then all the people in the military also here saying they are ready to confront the federal government, that the federal government should come. That they are ready to confront them. They will never do anything. They can't do anything. Let's see what is happening here. So this guy has provoked the federal government. I mean, there is no country in the world that will tolerate what the federal government. Even after that military, the federal government didn't do anything. Federal government just warned them, stop this. But they didn't do anything. But see what happened here. Can we see what happened? You see, it's like he's suffering from magnamonia, whatever they call that. Yeah, magnolia. You know, he's not suffering from magnamonia. He wants to look like a big guy. He wants to be worshipped. And people were actually worshipping him, this guy. People were worshipping him. People were bowing down to him. People were, you know, I mean, he enjoyed that status. And it was, geez, that's what I call opportunist. He's just, as you know, using the pain of the people, taking advantage of that, and to rise on that pain of the people. And but what happened later on after this whole thing is that the military came somewhere there, and his people were attacking the military. They were pushing back, not the military, the police. They were pushing back the police, attacking them, throwing them stones, you know, pushing the policemen away, and the police didn't do anything. And so the provocation has been a lot. I mean, this is a long video, we could say it, but let's see other videos where I was talking. Oh no, this is not where they were pushing the police. They have another one where they were pushing the police everywhere. Okay. So what this one saying? No, that other one with the lady. Yeah.
Have you taken? Have you written an official letter to the government that you want to secede and the government said no? Who exactly have you been corresponding with in the Nigerian government? Who said no? Who said you cannot have your own country? Because I was hoping I would see something like that before we resort to violence. But as it is, the guy is asking for guns to kill people. And I'm like, why are we talking about guns?
We need guns and we need bullets.
Yeah, that was him at the World Igbo Conference in California. I don't understand that. If you want to divorce somebody, and I'm like, why are we talking about guns?
We need guns and we need bullets.
We need guns and we need bullets. Okay? So
yeah, that was him at the World Igbo Conference.
Yeah, that's a longer one too. But when you're already doing that, and still Nigerian government didn't respond. So this time, really, frankly speaking, from my own point of view, Nigerian government took a lot of time. They had a lot of patience to, you know, before they responded to this. And I think a lot of the blame should not just be on the Nigerian government. Yes, a lot of the blame is on the Nigerian government for allowing people to die and for actually killing people. But I think a lot of the blame actually lies on Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, the root of the conflict.
Yeah. Okay.
The beginning of something most times determines the end. The coordination of the indigenous people of Biafra all over the world is bearing the good news and the assurance that Biafra will be the best habitable place on earth. Looking at the system of IPOB's governance as led by the leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is indeed awesome. On the 15th of August 2017, the Armless Biafra Security Service from all the angles of Biafra land gathered as selected by their selected leaders under Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to pay homage to the world best leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. In Omahia, they started gathering from the early hours on the Tuesday morning before the sunrise till the sunset, about few minutes to 4 p.m. After their arrival from the different parts of Biafra land to Omahia in Abia State as named by the Zoo government, they arrayed themselves in magnificent robes, in their black attires, and in respect to the supreme leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who made his march with the leading Biafra Security Service commanders to inspect the armless brave teams of Biafra Squad. parade, the leader Mazen Nambekano sat together with some of the leaders to encourage them to solely trust and have confidence in Chukwuka Kabiama, the Supreme God who only will restore Biafra to us. For he is our arm, so there should be no fear, for the sole duty is nothing but to see that Biafra is restored in a well-civilized way, except when the only option is otherwise. Furthermore, Mazen Nambekano urged the Biafra Security Service to always ensure that there is orderliness in the families of the indigenous people of Biafra all over Biafra land and all over the world, to make sure that we never defy the law of freedom and Biafra restoration as in regards to the laws of human and civil rights. After his encouragements and words of advice to the Biafra Security Service leaders, he ended up by leading them to the Almighty Chukwu Abiyama in prayers. The event was successful as it ended around some minutes after 6 p.m. Here are some brief interviews from the DSS personnel.
Yeah, you know, they are talking on the kind of thing that could lead any government. So this guy, see what is happening, and see the Nigerian government didn't respond to all this as well. But this is their own video. This is BIAFRA video. They themselves put this out. And, you know, these kind of things are very provocative to any state. So the government responded, not even at this time, but I'm sure when they got some more confidential information that some things were being planned, because they actually intercepted some weapons, and I think I think they got some information about that, and that's why they went to stop that. And now, you know, peace has been restored in that part of the country.
So, looking at all of these events, what would you tell a person who is fighting for the Biafran state, or maybe who is part of the Eastern Nigeria, who doesn't know what to do, or who now gets a better understanding of everything? What is the advice that you would give such a person?
The advice I have for all Nigerians, especially the Eastern Nigeria, is that the pain that is being felt by the Igbo people and all the complications and the Northerners and the killing and everything that is happening in Nigeria is all a problem of lack of values. The people who are killing Igbos in the north, or people who are saying Northerners cannot be here, Southerners cannot be here, or Christians cannot be here, or Easterners cannot be here, they lack values. But even our own response is showing that we also lack value systems. So, but these are not just the Biafra people who are doing this. There are a lot of groups from Western Nigeria too, from Yorubas. Maybe not a lot, but a few groups also who are calling for Oduduwa state, who are calling for independent Yoruba state. But it's also a reactional movement. It's a reactional movement because it just shows that they just want to, get out of the pain they're experiencing right now. But the problem we all have as a nation is the problem of values. If we could fix our values, we'll be able to get the right leaders. If we could feel our values, we'll be able to build a better country for ourselves. But the diversity that Nigeria has is actually our greatest blessing. The diversity of Nigeria is not a curse. Is actually a blessing. Look at Europe, for example. Europe used to be diversified and separated. But Europe, that used to be 50 different countries, they have now come together to become one country. Why? Because that's the only way for you to be competitive in the world. America used to be smaller. It used to be 13 states in America. But they bought other lands and they united other states to become 50 states. So only great nations become great. Only big nations, diverse. So people who are campaigning for Biafra state, most of them say we were artificially created by the British government. Yes, which is true, but show me any country that is not artificially created. Any country you go to in the world, not just in Africa, America is artificially created, Britain is artificially created, Germany is artificially created, France is artificially created. Any country you go to in the world is artificially created. That is just the way life is. Russia is artificially created. Every nation in the world, that's the way they came around. So, there is nothing new about that. And the problem of secession in every country is always something very damaging. Because, if it's not done politically right, it could lead to a lot of crisis and a lot of pain. And ordinary people are the ones who will suffer. So let us just try to improve ourselves, change ourselves, to get a job. Okay, for example, even if Biafra gets Biafra land, that will not change the content of character of the Biafra people. That will not change the content of character of the Igbo people. The content of character that has been corrupted by all our leaders, either Yoruba leaders or Igbo leaders or Hausa leaders, all our leaders, and the culture that we have. And it's not just political leaders that are responsible. Like I said, values come from the family, it comes from the school system, it comes from the religious organizations, it comes from the media. So all those places, all of them are to blame. All of us are to blame for the, for the corrupted value system that we have. And we cannot deny that. So let's face let's focus on changing ourselves, changing our value system, rather than trying to change the geography. Geography changing or name changing will not change the people that live there. And as long as those people have not changed, their character has not changed, the same problem, the same crisis will come up, even in that smaller state that's going to be called Biafra or anything. They will still be having the same problem that they were having in the larger Nigeria, only even worse. Because other people, when you are living together with other people, they bring some positive to you too. It's not just you. But when you are by yourself alone, it creates more problem for you.
Wow. That's very, 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 very right.
That's why I wrote a book, The Problem, what do you call that? The Danger of Monoculturalism. Yeah, there's another book I wrote that's called The Danger of Monoculturalism. And, that book explains it, why diversity is the best option. The whole world is going diversified now. And God created all of us diversity. We're all one family. We're all creation of God and children of God. So
you're all interdependent.
Yeah, we're all interdependent.
Yeah. Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday. We've actually come to the end of our show, but it was a very, very enriching show, very informative as well. I believe that we have learned a lot, especially about the history of Nigeria, even if it was, not exhausted, of course, but there's a lot of information that I believe many people are lacking. And that's why they also react the way they react. So we really have to make sure to be informed and to always seek information and try to look at everything from a holistic point of view. And I really love that you were talking about the value system, because I think, just like you have said, if you have a glass of water and the water, is not good anymore, and all you do is changing the cup, the water is still not going to be good. It's not going to be better. The content, yes. So we have to look at the content of the people that we have in all areas of our society, of the society in Nigeria, and change that. And then we will go from there. And I believe all the other questions will be resolved as well, based on the values that we will acquire. So thank you very much, Dr. Sunday. Maybe there's a last word you want to say?
No, I'm okay. I just hope that our people will reason together. We are one family. We are one, one family. I think that one of the greatest strengths of Nigeria is that we are so big, and we could unite 250 tribes and nationalities into one. And if the ones who are complaining, they are the advantaged ones. I mean, they are the privileged ones. The people who are complaining most are the Yorubas. And they are the most privileged in the sense that they have ruled Nigeria more than anybody else has ruled Nigeria. Then the Igbos complain, but they control like 70% of the economy of Nigeria. They are privileged. But what will we talk about the small tribes that are not even known? Nobody even knows their name.
Yes. Wow. Dr. Sunday has also much more information on the situation in eastern Nigeria. He's written a lot of articles, very long, very informative, very holistic articles on his blog, SundayAdelajablog.com, and you can get everything there as well and reread the message that he has for Nigerians and anyone interested in knowing more of his thoughts on Nigeria and its future. And he also has written a lot of books, as you have seen during the show, about Nigeria and Nigeria's future and how he thinks we can develop as a nation, but also as a continent. And you've seen them here, that we have 4 here at the moment. Nigeria, the leadership question, this is one of the books. And then we have How to Make Nigeria the Greatest Country in the World. It's also very, very good on Amazon and on Okada Books. You can get the books. And we have How the Nigerian Economy Can Overtake the American Economy. And you definitely want to read that because, considering that America is one of the greatest economies in the world, and how Nigeria can overtake it is almost unthinkable. So you want to read that for sure. Then we have Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth, which is you know, quite challenging maybe for many Nigerians, especially because Nigeria is a very religious country. So this may seem like an offensive statement, but please, I encourage you all to read it if you can. You can get all the books on Amazon and Okada Books, and we would love for you also to share. Just share your comments. Visit us on Facebook. Dr. Sunday is on Facebook every day at, first of all, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. UK and Nigerian time. And then we also are here for the Ask Pastor Sunday show every second Saturday. Next time will be November 11th. So you can join us as well and ask your questions. It will be just a normal ask hour where you can ask all your questions. We've gathered quite a lot since last time, so we will make sure to ask them. If your question wasn't asked, please be there. We will ask them and try to ask them next time. Okay, so thank you very much. We will see you again tonight with our next program at 5 p.m. and 5 p.m. UK time and 7 p.m. UK time. Join us again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. Bye.